impose an income tax. And the Supreme Court came out and said, what are you talking about? This is, did you know a little over 100 years ago, they tried to impose an income tax and the Supreme Court came out and said, what are you talking about? This is completely unconstitutional. This is the Pollock versus Farmers. Pollock ends up winning. But then 20 years later, 1913, you know what we do? We announced the Federal Reserve and we introduced the income tax. You know when? Exactly a year before World War I. Did we know something that was coming? Let's start collecting money before we go to war. 1 year before, and then now it's a normal thing. There's this guy that's got this department called the DOGE with another guy. Both of them are very smart, Vivek and Elon Musk. It's called the Department of Government Efficiency. Do you know when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he had 7,500 employees. Overnight, he fired half of them, 3,750. Of the 3,750 that got fired, they recruited another 1,250 to quit with them. So 7,500 became 2,500 very quickly. This guy's used to making things to be more efficient. What if that took place and it forced everybody like us to work in a free market? What if that were to happen? We're going to talk today about a plan on if there is a way for us to go back to zero income taxes. We're going to propose our plan. You get to tear it apart, but we're going to talk about that today. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. By the way, did you know that the U.S. government collects roughly $4.7 trillion in gross taxes? 2023, $4.7 trillion, of which, do you know what percentage of those taxes is from tariffs that we get from other countries? You know what the number is? Only $80 billion. That's it. Now, this is why this is so weird. The $80 billion that we collect, if you go back and look at the history of America, where we got our income from to pay for everything, you know 100% of the money, the taxes, that the U.S. government collected just a little over 100 years ago was from tariffs. If you look at this chart, it'll show you tariff revenue as a share of total federal receipts from 1798 to 2023. Go all the way back to 1798. Look at that. 100% of the revenue the U.S. government got was from tariffs. And every time you see a drop off, you see that one right, 1812, it drops off to 45% because they wanted to collect taxes from you and I. That's because of War of 1812, another crisis, another war. But even if you go all the way up to 1910, 50% of the U.S. revenue came from what? Tariffs. The other 50% was from excise taxes. So let me simplify this for you. How much money comes in from importing goods and services, right, from other countries? The number is $3.83 trillion in 2023. Of which the average tariff we get is around 2%. 2% equals to $80 billion. $80 billion is what other countries are paying, okay? 80 billion divided by the $4.7 trillion that the U.S. government collects taxes from you and I. 80 billion divided by 4.7 trillion. That means 99.83% of all taxes that the government is running on, you and I pay for. The countries out there that are saying, here's 340 million rich Americans to come and sell your products to, these countries are saying, holy shit, America, this is the best deal ever. They're only paying 0.017%. What? And just 150 years ago, 100% of the federal spending was coming from who? Tariffs. Why did we stop doing that? I don't know. So what if we charged, instead of the 2% to get the 80 billion, what if we said moving forward across the board,